This is Matt Harper with APWA, and this time the Roving Reporter has taken us to Greenville, South Carolina to showcase Greenville's Smart City project.
What would you call it, the Smart City, I don't want to say war.
Hey, this is Matt Harper with APWA, and I'm here with Dwayne Cooper, City Engineer. And the first thing I want to ask is, how do you define Smart City?
I define the smart city as using the newer technology that's coming out with all of our processes. Basically everything we do from sewer to stormwater to traffic.
Specifically, we look at it as a connected city that serves the public and provides better services from our first responders, from our public works department, from both cities and counties, and how can we make a way of life easier for our citizens.
So why Greenville and why now?
Well, I think it's the time. I mean, Greenville's the perfect size to start implementing some of this new technology.
A couple of years ago, we started looking at innovative transportation solutions, and we focused on autonomous vehicles and connecting people from one district to another. And within that, we came to understand that Greenville has some advantages in that we're not so big, that we're so bound with traffic congestion that we can't prove out technology. Number two, we have really strong political support from both our city and county councils. And number three is we formed a 501c6 not-for-profit public benefit corporation called the Carolinas Alliance for Innovation, specifically for that company to be able to flow between public entities and private companies and make them mesh together for the projects that we wanted to bring here.
Okay, so how does your asset management approach change as you continue to move into the smart city?
Well, obviously asset management is getting more automated. We are starting to record a lot more data, a lot more data. With the use of GIS and those interfaces, we're able to track and come up with a more complete program on how we monitor assets, how we choose which assets to go and repair or replace, things like that. So, but it allows us to monitor those systems and see how we're doing. We also can see whether we're being beneficial or not being beneficial by the programs that we're doing.
A project like this is never really finished. There's no finish line. It's something that's going to be, worked on and maintained for God knows how long. What is next for the project? What's next for you two? What's next for Public Works? What's in store for 6 weeks from now? What's in store from a year from now?
Well, I'd say 6 weeks from now we're establishing our test bed out at SETAC, which will be kind of a spotlight for Public Works here locally, for one, because they have to buy into it.
And we've had major corporations and some smaller companies that have some of these unique technologies that have come in and said, what you've got in Greenville is unique because you've got the political will to let us demonstrate our proof of concept on public roadways and in public venues. But even more importantly, we've got a place where we can go and mass test all the communications, all the positioning capabilities, and bring them all together across the platforms. The data that we're going to be getting, or the data that we're going to be seeing from all that testing, will be aggregated by one of the major companies that's involved in that to help us capture it, analyze it, and distribute it out to the appropriate agencies.
Okay, how can public works services be improved, as you said, from a smart city?
The main focus that we're looking at now is transportation. Everybody's heard of automated vehicles and automated transit. That's one of the big ones. We can also make our existing infrastructure more efficient, so we're not doing millions and millions of dollars worth of road widenings, but we're doing more with the assets that we already have. But there's a lot of different aspects. It may be sewer monitoring. It could be stormwater flood monitoring. It could be water quality monitoring. There's a lot of different technologies that could be used in conjunction with these new technologies that we just haven't even thought of yet.
What were the biggest challenges and what were the wins that you had along that path?
The biggest challenges we find is not technology, because there's a lot of technology out there that's pretty much ready to go. It's how do you get through public policy to change the rules and regulations that are already in place with state departments of transportation, with city and county roads. How do you go from state roads to city and county roads into federal interstate highways, things of that nature. So the policy part of it is a real challenge.
And then once you get past the policies, the companies that have the technology and they have their funds, they all want to sell their products, and that's key. And it's about sales and getting those wins, but they are going to have to work together. So how do you come up with a structure that is beneficial to each individual company, but they are allowing certain things to cross-pollinate, so to speak?
And certainly from the data platform, yes.
Mm-hmm.
What challenges can Public Works expect in this whole project?
Well, it's the usual challenge, and that's funding. But I believe if we start small, and that's what we're trying to do, is get some of these pilot projects out there and actually do an installation and then use it to see what it can be used for, see how we can improve the processes. So if we can overcome the funding challenge, then it's on to installation. But there's a lot of different uses for this technology. I think there's a lot of different areas that can be improved.
We want to thank everyone from Smart Greenville and Greenville's Public Works departments for allowing us to come in from the rain and for showing us what they are doing to make Greenville a smart city. If you want to have the Roving Reporter showcase your project, call, email, or tweet us.